The Tuareg, blue nomads of the Sahara, they ride where no roads exist. They speak a language written in the stars. Their veils hide more than faces. They guard secrets older than the desert itself. Who are these blue people who defy empires, outlast civilizations, carry the soul of the Sahara in their indigo-stained hands? For centuries, outsiders tried to conquer them with swords, with guns, with borders. All failed. As the modern world closes in, the Tuareg face their greatest threat. Not extinction, but forgetting. Chapter 1. Children of the Desert. The Tuareg people are an extraordinary segment of the larger Amazigh or Berber ethnic family, a vast, ancient confederation of indigenous peoples who have called North Africa home for thousands of years. Their origins are deeply rooted in the pre-Arab history of the Maghreb and the Sahara, representing a continuous lineage that predates many of the region's current political and cultural structures. The Tuareg refer to themselves with a powerful sense of self-identification as the Kel Tamashek, which translates to speakers of Tamashek, highlighting the profound importance of their unique language. Their tongue Tamashek is more than just a means of communication. It is a lyrical expression of their intimate connection to their environment, a language that sings of the towering dunes, the myriad stars that guide their nocturnal journeys, and the enduring spirit of survival in one of the world's harshest landscapes. Their traditional territory is not confined by modern political boundaries. Instead, it spans a vast, undulating expanse across 5 contemporary countries: Mali, Niger, Algeria, Libya, and Burkina Faso. This immense area represents their ancestral lands, an ancient domain that stretches thousands of kilometers. To the Tuareg, this sprawling territory is not a collection of fragmented nations, but a unified, immense ocean of sand and rock, the Sahara itself, which they have not merely survived within, but have utterly mastered for centuries. Their deep, generational knowledge of the desert's contours, hidden wells, and unpredictable weather patterns has made them unparalleled navigators and survivors. The Sahara is undeniably brutal. It is a landscape of extremes where temperatures can soar beyond 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit by day, scorching the earth and testing the limits of endurance, only to plummet dramatically to near freezing temperatures by night, demanding adaptability and resilience from all who inhabit it. The lack of water, the relentless sun, and the pervasive sandstorms would render it uninhabitable for most. But to the Tuareg, this formidable environment is not an adversary. It is unequivocally home. They have adapted their entire way of life to its rhythm, recognizing its challenges not as obstacles but as defining features of their existence. Their traditional lifestyle is deeply intertwined with the desert's rhythm. Their camels, revered not just as beasts of burden, but as members of their families, are the lifeblood of their nomadic existence, providing transport, milk, and companionship. Their tents, skillfully crafted from animal hides or woven mats, are easily erected and dismantled, designed for portability and shelter against the desert's fury. Salt, a crucial commodity in their historical trade networks, is not just a mineral, but a symbol of sustenance and wealth. Their indomitable spirit, forged by generations of traversing vast, empty spaces, is perhaps their most defining characteristic. It's an integral part of this endless desert tapestry. For the Tuareg, motion is life. Their nomadic existence is a philosophical choice as much as a practical necessity. A constant movement that mirrors the shifting sands and the celestial bodies above. Stillness, in this context, is equated with death, with stagnation, with the loss of their core identity. Every journey, no matter how small, is imbued with deep meaning, a pilgrimage across a landscape that holds the collective memory of their ancestors. And as they move, they believe that every grain of sand remembers something, carrying whispers of ancient paths, past caravans, in the enduring spirit of a people who belong to the desert as much as it belongs to them. Chapter 2. The Blue People. One of the most visually striking and enduring symbols of the Tuareg identity is their distinctive appearance, which has earned them the moniker, the Blue People. This epithet derives directly from the traditional practice of wearing deep indigo-dyed robes and turbans. The cloth, often hand-woven and meticulously dyed, is so rich in its natural pigment that, over time, the vibrant indigo would inevitably bleed and rub off, subtly yet permanently staining their skin a deep, iridescent blue. This blue hue, which becomes a part of their very complexion, is not just a happenstance. It is a visible signature, a mark of their enduring connection to their heritage and the ancient trade routes that brought indigo across the Sahara. Perhaps even more iconic than their blue-stained skin is the tagelmust, or veil, worn by Tuareg men. This practice is particularly distinctive and culturally significant, standing in stark contrast to most Islamic societies where veiling is typically associated with women. For Tuareg men, donning the tagelmust is not merely a custom, it is a profound rite of passage. It is adopted upon reaching maturity, typically around the age of 25. When a young man is considered ready to assume the full responsibilities of adulthood and warrior status, this veil covers almost the entire face, leaving only the eyes visible. The tagelmust holds deep symbolic meaning within Tuareg culture. It symbolizes honor, representing a man's dignity and his commitment to his lineage and community. It embodies humility, as it encourages introspection and signals a deference to others. And perhaps most importantly, it conveys a profound sense of mystery, creating an aura of enigmatic reserve that aligns with their often silent presence in the vast desert. A strict social protocol dictates that a man's mouth is never uncovered in front of elders or strangers. To show one's mouth is considered disrespectful, a breach of decorum. Even while eating or drinking, a Tuareg man will discreetly lift a corner of his veil to conceal his mouth. Beyond its rich cultural symbolism, the indigo veil serves an eminently practical purpose. It is quite literally armor against the desert. It provides essential protection against the relentless desert wind, which can whip up blinding sandstorms in an instant. It acts as a filter against the fine sand that constantly permeates the air, preventing inhalation and discomfort. And crucially, it offers vital defense against the intense, scorching sun, protecting the face from harsh UV radiation and heat stroke. The veil is therefore both a practical garment for survival and a powerful cultural statement. More deeply, the tagelmust is the signature of Tuareg identity. It sets them apart, making them instantly recognizable amidst other desert communities. It is a visual testament to their ancient traditions, their nomadic lifestyle, and their unique place in the Sahara. Their eyes, often the only visible feature peering from behind the intricate folds of the veil, become the focal point of communication. They tell stories without words, conveying emotions, intentions, and wisdom in a way that transcends spoken language. Inviting the observer to look deeper, to understand the silent strength and enduring spirit of the Blue Nomads. Chapter 3: Masters of Caravans. For centuries, the Tuareg were the undisputed lords of the desert highways, holding absolute sway over the trans-Saharan trade routes. Their profound knowledge of the vast, unforgiving Sahara, coupled with their unique social organization and formidable warrior traditions, allowed them to rule the trade routes with an authority that few others dared to challenge. Their economic power and influence stemmed from their mastery of the caravan trade, a complex, arduous, and highly profitable enterprise that formed the backbone of their society. Their caravans of camels moved silently, like majestic ships sailing across an endless ocean of sand, their soft pads making little sound as they traversed vast distances. These monumental expeditions carried a diverse array of precious goods across the continent, connecting disparate economies and cultures. The primary commodities they transported included salt from the ancient remote mines of Taudeni in what is now Mali, a commodity so vital and rare in West Africa that it was often referred to as white gold. They also transported gold from the Sahel, originating from the legendary gold fields of the Ghanaian, Malian, and Songhai empires, along with dates, textiles, and spices and other luxury goods from the Mediterranean coast, creating a vibrant network of exchange. These ancient desert highways connected the vibrant kingdoms and burgeoning markets of West Africa to the sophisticated civilizations and trading hubs of the Mediterranean world. The routes they established and maintained were arteries of commerce and cultural exchange, facilitating the flow of goods, ideas, and people across a continent. The Tuareg were not merely passive traders. They were the indispensable guides, possessing intimate geographical knowledge passed down through generations. They were formidable warriors, fiercely protecting their caravans from bandits and rival groups, ensuring the safe passage of their precious cargo. And they were the ultimate guardians of secrets, holding the keys to the desert's hidden wells, safe passages, and the intricate knowledge required to survive its perils. The value of salt in particular highlights the strategic importance of the Tuareg trade. It was once more valuable than gold in many parts of West Africa, essential for human and animal health, food preservation, and as a currency in its own right. The Tuareg masterfully controlled the production and distribution of this white gold, hauling massive slabs, often weighing 30 to 40 kilograms each, across thousands of kilometers of absolute nothingness. The logistics of these expeditions were staggering. Imagine it. Hundreds, sometimes even thousands of camels, arranged in a single unwavering line stretching far into the horizon, their majestic forms silhouetted against the vast, empty sky. They moved through an almost absolute silence, broken only by the mournful call of the wind sweeping across the dunes and the slow, rhythmic cadence of hooves on sand. This wasn't just trade. It was an epic undertaking, a testament to their unparalleled resilience, navigation skills, and their deep symbiotic relationship with the Sahara. The caravan trade was the heartbeat of the Tuareg Empire, a legacy of movement and commerce that defined their very existence. Chapter 4: Warriors and Resistance. The history of the Tuareg is not one of subjugation, but of fierce, unrelenting independence. Despite numerous attempts by external powers to assert control over their vast desert domain, the Tuareg were, in essence, never truly conquered. Their nomadic lifestyle, their profound knowledge of the Sahara, and their formidable warrior traditions made them an elusive and formidable foe, capable of vanishing into the vastness of the desert at will. Equals in the 19th and 20th centuries, as European colonial powers carved up Africa, the French colonialists made concerted efforts to subjugate the Tuareg and integrate their territories into the sprawling French West Africa. However, the desert, in many ways, was truly on the Tuareg side. Its immense scale, its extreme conditions, and its lack of fixed infrastructure rendered conventional military tactics ineffective. The French, accustomed to fighting in more defined terrains, struggled to track and contain the highly mobile Tuareg fighters. Throughout this period, skirmishes, ambushes, and full-scale rebellions flared across the sands. The Tuareg fiercely resisted foreign domination. Famous figures like Firhoun Ag Alanzer led tenacious revolts, demonstrating the Tuareg's unwavering commitment to their autonomy, often fighting with traditional swords and spears against modern firearms, relying on their superior knowledge of the terrain and their hit-and-run tactics. Even in modern times, following the independence of African nations and the drawing of new, arbitrary borders across their ancestral lands, the Tuareg have consistently resisted centralized rule. These new nation-states, largely based on European models, struggled to accommodate the nomadic, trans-border existence and distinct cultural identity of the Tuareg, leading to feelings of marginalization and disenfranchisement. This tension has erupted into multiple periods of armed conflict and political unrest. In both Mali and Niger, where large Tuareg populations reside, they have risen multiple times for autonomy, seeking greater self-governance, a fairer share of resources, and recognition of their distinct cultural rights. These rebellions, sometimes violent, have punctuated the post-colonial history of these nations. A notable example occurred in 2012, when Tuareg fighters, forming various armed groups, successfully helped declare the short-lived independent state of Azawad in northern Mali, a vast desert region they consider their homeland. Although this state was ultimately overthrown by a combination of internal conflicts and international military intervention, it underscored the depth of their aspirations for self-determination and their willingness to fight for it, though often misunderstood by outside observers as mere rebels or outlaws. Their struggle is a profound one for the preservation of their identity and dignity in a rapidly changing world. It is a battle against the erosion of their traditional nomadic way of life, against political marginalization, and for the right to govern themselves in the lands they have inhabited for millennia. The spirit of the Tuareg warrior, though the traditional sword may now be sheathed in favor of more modern forms of activism, or, in some cases, contemporary weaponry, remains unbroken. Their history is a living testament to an enduring spirit of resistance. People who refuse to be confined by borders or definitions imposed from without, forever carrying the legacy of their unconquered ancestors in the silent vastness of the Sahara. Chapter 5: a matriarchal mystique, in a region of the world often characterized by deeply entrenched patriarchal societal structures. The Tuareg people present a fascinating and unique counter-narrative, often described as a society with a significant matriarchal mystique. While not a true matriarchy in the strict sense of women holding overt political power, Tuareg society is remarkably egalitarian compared to many of its neighbors, and women hold a position of considerable influence and respect, not just in households but throughout society at large. Tuareg women enjoy a remarkable degree of freedom and authority. They actively own property, often inheriting valuable assets like tents, camels, and jewelry, independently of their husbands. They also inherit wealth, ensuring their economic independence and standing within the community. Crucially, they are the custodians of culture, playing an indispensable role in preserving the Tuareg language, traditions, and oral histories, ensuring that the unique identity of their people is passed down through generations. Tuareg women are highly respected as intellectuals and artists. They are renowned poets, composing beautiful verses that often speak of love, longing, and the desert landscape. They are masterful storytellers, narrating the epic histories of their people, the legends of their ancestors, and the wisdom gleaned from centuries of nomadic life. And they are accomplished musicians, particularly celebrated for their skill with the tin drum, a traditional percussion instrument central to Tuareg ceremonies and social gatherings. Through the rhythmic beats of the tind and the evocative power of oral tales, they literally pass history down through generations, imbuing the younger members of the community with a deep understanding and appreciation of their heritage. The structure of Tuareg marriage further highlights the elevated status of women. Marriage customs are often matrilineal, meaning that after marriage, men often relocate to and live in the camps of their wives' families. This practice gives women significant leverage and security within the family unit and the broader clan. Woman's tent is considered sacred. It is unequivocally her space, representing her autonomy, her dignity, and her place as the center of the domestic world. It symbolizes her freedom within the marital bond, and she maintains considerable agency even after marriage, a stark contrast to many surrounding cultures. Perhaps one of the most unique aspects of Tuareg culture, further emphasizing the women's role as cultural custodians, is their literacy. Unlike many other societies where male literacy was historically privileged, it is the women who primarily carry the ancient Tifana script. This indigenous Berber script, with its distinctive geometric characters, is primarily taught and practiced by women who use it to write poems in the sand, etch messages onto leather pouches, and carve letters onto stone tablets. This artistic and literary tradition ensures the continuity of their written heritage through the female line. Without the steadfast dedication and cultural preservation efforts of the women, the rich and complex Tuareg story would undoubtedly fade into dust, lost to the winds of the Sahara. Their pivotal role ensures that the traditions, history, and unique identity of the Blue Nomads continue to endure. Chapter 6: Between Tradition and Modernity. Today, the Tuareg, like many indigenous and nomadic peoples across the globe, find themselves at a crucial crossroads, facing new and unprecedented threats that challenge their ancient way of life. The Sahara, their eternal home, is changing, and so is the world around them. One of the most pressing environmental challenges is climate change and desertification, which are drastically impacting their traditional grazing lands. Prolonged droughts and erratic rainfall patterns mean that fertile areas are shrinking, forcing their herds to travel further and making their nomadic existence increasingly difficult to sustain. This environmental degradation directly threatens their livestock, which are the cornerstone of their economy and way of life. Simultaneously, the existence of modern borders restricts nomadic life. The arbitrary lines drawn on maps by colonial powers now delineate countries like Mali, Niger, and Algeria, cutting across traditional Tuareg grazing routes and ancestral territories. This makes free movement essential for their survival and cultural practice, increasingly difficult, requiring visas, facing checkpoints, and often encountering suspicion from national authorities who struggle to understand or accommodate their transborder existence. Furthermore, the region has become tragically embroiled in terrorism and political instability, particularly in the Sahel. Extremist groups and armed conflicts bring violence directly to their doorstep, endangering their communities, disrupting trade, and forcing displacement. The Tuareg often find themselves caught between various warring factions, their peaceful traditional lives disrupted by forces far beyond their control. And yet, despite these immense pressures, the Tuareg spirit of adaptability and resilience shines through in remarkable ways. Their cultural vitality is finding new expressions, particularly in the realm of music. Tuareg artists are expertly blending traditional sounds with contemporary influences, creating a unique genre known as desert blues. Bands like Tainariwan and Bombino, originating from the Tuareg diaspora and nomadic communities, have achieved international acclaim, performing on global stages and captivating audiences with their hypnotic rhythms and soulful melodies. Their songs, often performed on electric guitars, are powerful narratives of exile, heritage, and hope, speaking to the challenges and aspirations of their people, ensuring their voices heard far beyond the dunes. Younger generations of Tuareg are finding ways to balance smartphones and solar panels with camels and poetry, while some continue the traditional nomadic life, tending to herds and traversing the desert. Others are embracing education and modern professions. Some remain nomads, upholding the ancient traditions of their ancestors. But others become teachers, bringing education to their communities, engineers, contributing to modern infrastructure, and even diplomats, representing their people's interests on the international stage. They walk a path that spans two worlds, the ancient one of their ancestors and the rapidly evolving modern one. Yet through all the changes, their internal compass still points to the desert. It is the source of their identity, their history, and their spiritual home, guiding them as they navigate the complexities of the 21st century while holding steadfast to the enduring legacy of the blue nomads of the Sahara. Their caravans once carried gold across continents. Their warriors outmaneuvered armies. But the Sahara is changing, drying, fracturing, vanishing. When the last true nomad lowers his veil for the final time, what ancient knowledge will be lost to the sand forever? Will their blue stains fade into history? Or will the world finally listen before the desert swallows its last keepers of the old ways? Uncover more untold African stories. Subscribe to Mr. Africa on social media platforms for journeys into the heart of the continent's greatest mysteries.